Hello, my name is Jennifer Hempkin, and I would like to share my AT device project. The components of my project included finding a target individual, identifying a need for an AT device, designing a device or finding one, collecting data without the device, and then using the device during data. My target individual was a college senior music major. She is diagnosed with ADHD and a neurological disorder. She's studying piano through private lessons, and she showed a need to make reading music easier. My main device was a yellow reading overlay. Amy tried several colors and she chose yellow. The overlay was designed for dyslexia, but it's also good for ADHD. It improves reading ability of both music and words, and we employed the overlay during the second data collection. Here's an overlay on top of music. I employed my knowledge from personal experience with dyslexia because I work with overlays for my own reading of both words and music. Amy did not have a diagnosis for dyslexia, but she did have a clear diagnosis for ADHD. And I relied on product descriptions of reading overlays that stated they could be helpful for ADHD. For secondary device, I devised a practice chart with spaces to write assigned tasks. And I left space for time amounts for each task. And Amy made pictures in some of those spaces to show completion of her tasks. And we used this in the second data collection. Here is a photo of the chart from the second data, which Amy completed. We did the first day during her lesson, and then she made the pictures and followed the chart for the tasks on her own. I drew inspiration for the second AT device from a former classmate from my program. I looked at the Assistive Technology device she developed for her 9-year-old son a year ago. It was a chart to help a child with high-functioning ASD plan for his breaks during COVID, online schooling in Kuwait. The boy colored pictures and boxes on the chart to show what would happen during each break. And as a result, he felt more relaxed and excited about his time spent in school than before having the chart. My graph of analytical data shows comments Amy wrote to 5 questions. I asked how she felt about her piano practicing, and I collected data through 3 steps. Each step involved 5 consecutive days. For the first step, we used no accommodation. For the second and third steps, we used an overlay and a practice chart. And each practice session lasted for 20 minutes. Question 1, how do you feel about reading music emotionally? Here's set 1. Set 2 with the overlay and the chart. And set 3 with the overlay and the chart. However, she was really tired during set 3, so the data did not prove as helpful. Question 2, do you have any physical symptoms from reading? Data 1 with no accommodation. Data set 2 with overlay and chart. Data set 3 with overlay and chart, but when she was really tired. Question 3, how do markings look on the page? First set of data. Second set. Third set. Question 4, do you have any trouble keeping your place? First set, with no accommodation. Second set with overlay and chart. Third set with overlay and chart, but with a lot of tiredness. Question 5, how many times do you have trouble seeing during a 20-minute period? Data 1. Data 2. Data 3. The project did encounter some difficulties. Amy completed a practice chart for the third set of data, but she did not return it. She kept it for herself because she liked the pictures and she wanted to keep them. And when I asked if she could send a photo of the chart from the third data, she didn't answer because she became sick that week. So the third set of data was limited. It mostly talked about Amy feeling tired because she took part in a college play that week. So I couldn't compare the use of a practice chart between the second and third sets of data because she did not mention the chart in the third data. The third data shows importance of general health for practicing, especially for a student with poorly treated disabilities, such as Angie, who does not get the treatment she needs, and some of her disabilities are not even diagnosed correctly, and tiredness made her task completion difficult. However, Amy still mentioned the yellow overlay as making a difference in the third data, even though she wrote very little except about being tired in the third set. Overall, the project proved that a yellow overlay helped Amy with reading sheet music during piano practice sessions. For future data collection, I think it might be effective with only one new device at a time. First, a study could be done with an overlay. Second, a study could be done with an overlay and a practice chart. Third, a study could be done with an overlay, a practice chart, and a third device created by the student because Angie thought of using sticky notes herself to help make her textbook for piano easier to follow. And if necessary, separate studies could be done for each individual device. Thank you for listening. This concludes my presentation about my AT device project using an overlay and a practice chart.